So far, this year has proven to be very good for gold and silver to some degree. And I'm going to talk about what could send gold into record territory in this video as we explore. There are two things specifically that very well we could see gold soar past $3,000. Now, it wasn't that long ago when people were making predictions. In fact, Saxo Bank has made a prediction of $3,000 gold, and others have made crazy wild predictions for gold over the past years of $3,000, $5,000, and even $10,000 an ounce. But as we have flirting now with $2,000 gold again, already early in the year, there's a lot of things that are happening in the market psychologically, whether it be an overreaction or not, that are leading to higher gold prices. And one of those I talked about in a recent video. But I'm going to first talk about what people have been speculating what the Fed is going to do this year. Many people feel that the Federal Reserve is going to pivot. And what does that mean? That means they're going to reverse course on raising interest rates. So instead of raising them, they are going to lower interest rates in the coming year. In other words, we're seeing it go from 50 basis points up, which is down 25 basis points from where they were before. It's 75 basis points, slowing down a bit. Many people feel that the next rate hike will be 25 basis points, as we are starting to see inflation come down, at least according to the official numbers. But we all know the story there. I talked about that in a previous video too, because its latest increase of 6.5% is still a dramatic rise on top of the already well over 7% rate increase that we saw the year before. So we are coming strongly into the second year of high inflation here. And it doesn't look like it's going to really slow down, at least to the deflationary period, even with lower gas prices. Nonetheless, we are seeing some movement in those numbers that could make the Fed feel like they can pause and maybe not raise rates for a cycle and then lower rates if they see any trouble with the economy or employment numbers take a turn to the other direction, which after the Amazon layoffs very well could happen. Those numbers will come into play, and we are starting to see higher fuel costs starting to creep back in. Some analysts estimate that we could see well over $4 gas on average in the United States here soon. So that is number one. They may pivot this year, maybe even sooner than expected. That is going to send gold higher, especially with what we've seen recently with the markets just interpreting the Fed's meeting notes and statements that they have made. It has sent gold up dramatically and down dramatically, as well as silver that we have been witnessing. Just the mere talk of an interpretation by some analysts and how the market reacts to that, to the interpretations thereof. So imagine what happens if the talk and the actual actions lead to this happening sooner rather than later. And given where gold prices are now, they're going to just go up even more. But the perfect storm for $3,000 gold is not just that. I think something else has to happen at or near the same time. This is important, folks. It is what has already been going on in China and other nations in 2022. We saw record high gold acquisitions by these central banks around the world. And they've been doing this pretty steadily over the past year or so, and even before that. And you think about it, what is giving them the confidence to do it? Well, it is because of what the Bank of International Settlements has declared gold as a Tier 1 asset, up from a Tier 3 asset in April of 2019. That gives them all the more confidence that they have the liquidity with their gold holdings there, and more banks, more and more central banks are accumulating this lovely yellow metal into their coffers. Why? Because they know it is the ultimate form of money, which is why we should accumulate it as well and hold on to it. Indeed. So these nations are going to likely increase their gold holdings, and we could see some surprising numbers come out in 2023. But if it goes at the same rate as it was in 2022 and climbs up higher, because you think about it, in 2022, these central banks have accumulated more gold now than they have since 1967. If it continues at this same rate, that is going to mean that people are going to see the demand for gold rise in these central banks. And I think that's going to cause the price to go up as well, too. And you put those two things together, the Fed pivot and China and other nations increasing their gold holdings, that is a recipe, I believe, for gold soaring past $3,000. And there's other mitigating factors that could pull some of that back or increase it even further. But I believe those two things are going to be very strong for gold in 2023. We'll just have to see. But it is remarkable to see where gold is at now, flirting again with near record highs. And what could happen could cause a tempest in a teapot to cause the prices to go up even higher. And so what other metal, by the way, has done so well? Well, there's other metals that have done very, very well compared to even gold. Gold is a stable store of wealth, for sure. And one of the attractive natures of gold is the fact that it doesn't react like crazy like some of these other metals do. Speaking of a very reactive metal, I'm going to talk about one that has had an over 400% increase. Yes, you heard that right. Quadrupled since November 2020. I'm talking about this metal right here. This is a lithium-ion battery from an old digital camera I had, and you know, gold has done well, but lithium batteries, or lithium as a metal, has done even better. Since November 2020, we have seen the prices quadruple for this metal. And by the way, lithium is, in fact, the least dense metal. Now, you know me, I love thick, dense metals. And gold is definitely a very dense metal. Lithium is the least dense metal. In fact, it's a metal that can actually float in oil, believe it or not. It's crazy. So the bull market in lithium is driven by the global demand for electric vehicles that numerous state and national governments are incentivizing or even requiring. So this adds up to a quick increase in demand for lithium, since lithium-ion batteries are used to power electric cars as well as store grid-scale electricity. And this leads me to the sponsor portion of our video by Clarity Metals Corporation. And knowing that there's only one lithium mine in the United States, I'm going to talk about a specific lithium property, by the way, that Clarity has a little bit of land that's scooped out in this project area. And this is the Lithium 381 property. Clarity Metals is actually a very small company compared to others working in that same area. They are a $10 million company. They are the last project in a hot lithium mining camp. And they're right next to Alchem, which is a company whose market cap is $7.5 billion. Osisco is a $1.3 billion giant company. And Patriot Battery Metals is worth $500,000, and they are also in that area. So those juggernauts are there, and Clarity is a very small company that has a piece of the pie right smack dab in that project area. And so the next stage for its lithium project is to wait for the results of the geophysics surveys, which will indicate where the right targets are for its upcoming drilling program. No, there's no question about it that there is a great demand for lithium, especially considering the great increase that we've seen since November of 2020. Lithium is in high demand, folks. No question about it. Like their lithium project, though, they have secured an area in the EBTB Greenstone Belt, and that is for a gold mine. Yes, indeed. They've got one of the most iconic gold-producing regions on Earth. And this is where BHP, Billiton, Newmont, Glencore, Pan American, Yamana Gold, and IAMGOLD, which are considered the largest gold companies and well-run conglomerates. They also have a foothold. And so when they are in that area, they are amongst the giants. So they're right in the right spot, Clarity Metals is, and they are a high-risk, high-reward situation, and they're going to start drilling this year. They've got a great management team and a healthy balance sheet. So this is a company that is worthy to kind of take a look at. But as is the case with any other situation and any other company that you might consider investing in, it's always good to do your own due diligence and research. And I'm going to post a link in the description below to their website where you can research and look at their corporate presentation. You can contact them and ask any questions and take a look at what they have done and what they are involved in right at this very moment. But a fascinating opportunity for those of you who want to diversify a bit into the mining stocks and consider a situation in a company like Clarity Metals Corporation. So there you have it. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Hope you found this video insightful and educational, and I want to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.